The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Evans.
Present.
Alderman Page.
Present.
Alderwoman Negracia.
Present.
Alderman Coder. Alderwoman Rice. Alderman Gunther.
Here.
Alderman Stevens. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderwoman Howard.
Present.
Alderwoman Green.
Present.
Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Peel.
Here.
Alderman Todd.
Present.
Alderwoman Davis. Alderwoman Spencer.
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderman Ryan. Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Present.
Thank you. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Graz.
Here.
President Vollmer.
Present.
Alderman Bosley. Alderman-
Present.
Thank you. Alderman Coder.
Here.
Alderwoman Rice. Alderman Stevens.
Here.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Here.
Alderwoman Davis. Alderman Ryan. Alderwoman Boyd. 21 present, you have quorum.
Present. I'm sorry.
Thank you. 22 present, you have quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will be led in prayer today by the Reverend Kim Mason from the First Unitarian Church at 5007 Waterman. Reverend Mason, please take us away. Thank you.
Good morning. As President Vollmer said, I am the Reverend Kim Mason. I serve the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis in the Central West End. Thank you so much for inviting me to give this morning's invocation. In Unitarian Universalism, we find many paths to the holy. And so I invite you into a spirit of contemplation and prayer, mindful of the many beliefs represented in today's gathering. Spirit of life, God of many names and no name, great mystery. We humbly gather today to do the work of the people. Bless the efforts of these, our community leaders. In a city with so much potential and so much need, guide them towards listening. Help them to ask questions such as, what do we need to learn? And who is missing from this conversation? In a city of contrast, remind them that no matter where we live, everyone, gay, straight, transgender, Black or white, Hispanic or Asian, Muslim, Jew, Hindu, Sikh or atheist, is our neighbor worthy of love and respect. The prophets teach that it is our responsibility to care for our neighbor, our poor neighbor, our homeless neighbor, our immigrant neighbor, our addicted neighbor, our neighbors struggling on the margins. We are all neighbors. As neighbors in this gateway city, may our leaders be inspired to build gateways to connection. Grant them the wisdom to know what is true and the courage to do what is right. In a time of division, guide them towards an understanding of our mutual thriving, that together they and we might work together to create the beloved community. May the spirit of community, the spirit of justice, the spirit of love come among them today to inspire all that they do on our behalf. In the name of that which we call holy and that which we hold to be good and true and worthy, may it be so. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Reverend. Thank you for your words and thoughts. We will, Alderwoman Spencer, are you with us?
I am. Thank you, Mr. President.
You had an announcement you wanted to make. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I would like to ask for a moment of silence in recognizing the rights of women that have just been trampled on by the United States Supreme Court. As a raised Catholic and a mother, I am horrified to be a citizen of a nation who has chosen to allow states to force the births of children that they refuse to care for, perpetuating and expanding the cycle of poverty. This legislative body has been through an enormous amount of turmoil, and I'm afraid that there's more to come. I'm asking my colleagues here to join me not only in a moment of silence, but in recognition that we have more in common than we give ourselves credit for, that we all care about the fundamental rights of our citizens and the fundamental rights of human beings. Fighting the suppression of human rights at this great scale, we cannot do it while fighting amongst ourselves. We have to find common ground, and we have to come together as a city, as a region, and as a nation. We have to do this, because divided we will fail. Thank you, Mr. President. That's all I have.
All right, who could bow our heads for a moment of silence? All right, we will proceed now. Introduction of honored guests. Introduction of honored guests. All right, have any hands up?
Yeah, I do.
Alderman from the 28th, you're recognized. Your hands up.
Yeah, I would first like to echo Alderman from the 20th sentiments on the ruling this morning, but my honored guest today, I would like to bring in the business owners at the corner of Euclid and Maryland. I'm sorry, Euclid and McPherson. We had a bad fire last night, and Salt and Smoke, Mission Taco, Past the Post, Renouche, the restaurant there, they were all affected. Firefighters did a wonderful job, and I think that's going to be my other honored guest for the day, are the firefighters that worked hard this morning putting out and containing that fire, because it could have been a lot worse. So that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Alderman from the 23rd, you're recognized.
As always, I'd like to have my good friend Greg Meyer as my honored guest.
All right, thank you, sir. Alderman from the 12th, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Getting some feedback there. My honored guest today is Stephen Lewis Brawley. I'm going to turn down my mic. Stephen Lewis Brawley is the founder and main archivist of the St. Louis LGBT History Project, which is more prescient than ever now, and was just this week recognized and honored by the St. Louis Business Journal for his contributions not only to the LGBT community of St. Louis, but to the city of St. Louis and the region really as a whole. So from one archivist to a more proper archivist, my honored guest is Stephen Lewis Brawley. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Alderman from the 9th, you had your hand up next. Alderman from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two honored guests, Vanessa Cooksey and Nicole Belford, both from the Regional Arts Commission. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Alderman from the 1st, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. My honored guest today is my mother-in-law, Mrs. Murnay Cooley Miller. Mrs. Murnay Cooley Miller is a 37-year survivor of breast cancer, which I wear this often in support of her. But this weekend, we had a very hard scare. They put her in the hospital. They put her on a ventilator. We gave her last rites. My mother-in-law came home yesterday. She's tough. Okay, so I am just very thankful for that. And I wanted her to be my special guest because
All right.
besides having my own mother inspire me, to have a mother-in-law that's so tough and badass. I'm just very appreciative of that. And I want to thank God that he sent her home.
All right, thank you. I believe she
That's my
deserves a
special
round of
guest.
applause, everyone. All right, God bless her. All right. Any other hands? Alderman from 25th? Oh, I'm sorry, Alderwoman from the 4th, your hand's up. Alderwoman from the 4th.
Yes. Oh, am I? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, my honored guest today is my younger brother and his wife and family that lives in New York. I have been honored to be here today. And let me also say my nephew who graduated this week. So those are my honored guests.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Any other hands? Alderman from 25th, are you with us? No?
Hi, Mr. President. I am.
All right.
Today is National Take Your Dog to Work Day. Had a comment that I was going to make about one of our colleagues, but I feel instead, given the recent events, I'll say that it's not really needed to be recognized at the Supreme Court since they're already full of low-down dirty dogs.
All right. No. At this point, thank you very much, sir. Approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes dated Thursday, June 16, 2022.
All right, Alderman from the 25th, you are recognized for the approval of minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we approve the minutes from Thursday, June 16th, 2022.
Second.
All right, we have a second from the Alderman from the 14th that I caught. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 25th, second by the Alderman from the 14th. At the meetings of June 16th, 2022. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in the alderman's mailboxes. From the report of the Board of Alderman Clerk, the appointment from the Chair of the Public Safety Committee to the Detention Facility Oversight Board, Reverend Darrell Gray.
All right, Alderman from the 23rd, you're recognized on the approval of your appointment to the Detention Facility Oversight Board.
Right, I would ask that be sent to the Public Safety Committee for vetting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, it's been moved by Alderman from the 23rd, second by Alderman from the 1st, that we approve that we move these, appoint this to the Public Safety Committee. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Report of city officials from the Office of the Mayor. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individual for reappointment to the Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority. The reappointment of Mr. Earl Nance Jr., whose term will expire May 30th, 2028. I respectfully request your approval of the appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor.
Alderman from the 26th, you're recognized for approval of the mayor's appointment to the Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move for the approval of the reappointment to the Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority of my constituent, Mr. Earl Nance Jr.
Okay, entertain a second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Alderman from the 26th and second by Alderman from the 9th and the 23rd. It sounds like we have a hand up before we proceed. Alderwoman Tyus, you're recognized.
I'm going to object and ask that that be sent to committee. I was here when Earl Nance was put on this board. He definitely needs vetting. They are having conversations about our money, which I believe is in violation of their original authority to do so. And Mr. Nance used to be, is married to one of the people who lived across the street from me from 30 years. And Reverend Nance's church is in my community. But I would like to have a conversation with him and vet him on what he thinks his authority as the chair of the convention authority is as to having closed door meetings about our Rams money. So I think this is a very appropriate time for him to be sent to convention and tourism so that we can vet Mr. Nance. Plus, he's just been there so long, hardly anybody here, they may know him, but nobody's been able to ask him questions in years.
Okay, well, Alderman from the 26th, what is your move at this point? Were you going to reference this to committee, or are you trying to pass this today?
I would absolutely respectfully now ask for it to be moved to the committee.
Okay, and we'll take this to the Convention and Tourism Committee. Sharita, please make note of that.
Mr. President,
I'm sorry, we must vote on it. I apologize.
No, I was just gonna say you have a motion and a second on the table, so they have to be taken back.
Okay, I remove my motion.
We have to remove the second first.
Oh.
Alderman from 23rd, we remove your second.
I apologize, my mic was off. Yes, I removed my second.
Okay, Alderwoman now from 26, you can remove your motion.
I remove my motion.
Okay, now would you like to make a new motion?
I would like to make a new motion in the spirit of us working together, as Alderwoman Spencer said as we open the meeting, that we move the reappointment of Reverend Earl Nance Jr. to the Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority to committee.
I'll second that.
Entertain a second.
I second that.
All right. So it's been moved by the Alderman from 26, second by the Alderman from the 23rd, that we move this to committee, the Convention and Tourism Committee. Any discussion? All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, then we'll go to committee. Sharita, please make note.
So noted. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment and reappointment to the Locust Central Special Business District. The appointment of Ms. Nicole Lewis, the reappointment of Ms. Jennifer Frushner. I respectfully request your approval of the appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderwoman from the 6th, you're recognized for approval of the mayor's appointment to the Locust Special Business District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we approve the mayor's appointment and reappointment to the Locust Central Business District.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 6th, second by the Alderman from the 25th, that we approve the mayor's appointments to the Locust Special Business District. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the Detention Facility Oversight Board. The appointment of Mr. Mike Milton, who resides in the 20th Ward. I respectfully request your approval of the appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor.
Alderman from the 23rd, you're recognized for the approval of the mayor's appointment to the Detention Facility Oversight Board.
And I'd like to make a motion, we move this to the Public Safety Committee for vetting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 23rd, second by the Alderman from the 1st, that we move this to the Public Safety Committee. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Need a couple more.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Okay.
That's the extent of report of city officials.
We'll dispense with line item 7. Board bills for perfection. Would anyone like to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? I see no hands. So we will move on to first reading of board bills. Oh, I see a hand. Apologize. Alderman Gunther, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is for first readings. I move that we suspend the rules to first read Board Bill 66, which is in the drive.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second by Alderman. I sent you a message last night. Are you currently the lead sponsor on this board? Originally, I thought it was the Alderman from the 19th. Is that changed, or was it? You are now. Okay. Because when I spoke to you yesterday about doing that, I just was trying to get some clarity on who's leading this particular board bill. And other than that, and we will allow it to be introduced today, but with only 3 meetings left, we're not going to be second reading or committee till September on this. I was just curious as to the rush when we could do this next week, but
We were hoping to get it in before some break.
okay. Well, we could have done that next week too, but that's fine. We'll suspend the rules for today, sir. All right, to suspend the rules, I believe we need the, it's been moved and seconded by Alderman from 6th that we suspend the rules to first read Board Bill 66. We need roll call, Sharita.
Yes.
Okay, please proceed.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley.
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans,
Aye.
Alderman Page,
Aye, but no camera currently available.
Alderwoman Negracia,
Aye.
Alderman Coder,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice, Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Stevens,
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel,
Aye.
Alderman Todd, Alderwoman Davis, Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Still trying to find it in the drive. I'll pass for a second.
Alderman Ryan,
Aye.
Alderman Cone, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Grass,
Aye.
President Balmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice, Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Vaccaro,
I couldn't find it, but I'll go with the aye. It doesn't hurt to have it first read, so I'll go with the aye.
Alderman Cone. 22 aye votes.
That's Alderman Cones and I. Sorry, I can't. My button isn't working.
Thank
I'm an
you.
aye.
Thank you. 23 aye votes.
All right, thank you, Sharita. By your vote, you sustain the motion of the Alderman from the 9th Ward to suspend the rules. Sharita, please place Board Bill number 66 at the end of the first reading calendar.
So noted.
All right, please proceed with first reading.
Board Bill 57, sponsored by Alderman Cone, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Board of Adjustment and Apportionment, authorizing and directing the Director of Airports and the Comptroller of the City of St. Louis to enter into and execute a service agreement between the city and Exxon Enterprises for integrated conduct, energy, weapon, and body camera equipment services, and containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. Board Bill 58, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, an ordinance relating to the position, classification, and salaries of the employees in the Treasurer's Office, repealing Ordinance 69195 and enacting in lieu thereof certain new sections relating to the same subject matter and containing an emergency clause. The provisions of the section contained in this ordinance shall be effective with the start of the first pay period following approval by the mayor. Board Bill 59, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, an ordinance relating to the position, classification, and salaries of the employees in the Parking Division, repealing Ordinance 69196 and acting in lieu thereof certain new sections relating to the same subject matter and containing an emergency clause. The provisions of the section contained in this ordinance shall be effective with the start of the first pay period following approval by the mayor. Board Bill 60, sponsored by Alderwoman Negracia, an ordinance authorizing the honorary street name Benjamin Polson Place pursuant to Ordinance 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Shawman Place and Ridge Avenue and run north on Shawman Place to the intersection of Shawman Place and Wells Avenue. Board Bill 61, sponsored by Alderwoman Rice, Alderwoman Peel, and Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Adjustment and Apportionment appropriating a portion of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 to the St. Louis Department of Health, authorizing contracts to expend the funds to the extent received, containing a severability clause and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 62, sponsored by Alderman Stevens, pursuant to ordinance number 70333, as amended by ordinance number 71394, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on the 5700 block of Milan's Avenue between the intersection of Milan's Avenue and Hampton Avenue and Milan's Avenue and Macklin Avenue, 38 and the 3900 blocks of Lewis Avenue between the intersection of Lewis Avenue and Sharp Avenue and Lewis Avenue and Upton Street, and the 7300 block of Field Avenue between the intersections of Field Avenue and Germania and Field Avenue and Loughborough Avenue. Board Bill 63, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, an ordinance to repeal ordinance 68706 relating to the appointment and rates of compensation of certain employees of the licensed collector of the City of St. Louis and enacting in lieu thereof a new ordinance dealing with the same subject matter and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 64, sponsored by Alderman Cone, Alderman Gunther, Alderman Stevens, and Alderwoman Green, an ordinance approving policies and procedures in connection with the consideration of development proposals, amending ordinance number 71504, and containing a severability and an emergency clause. Board Bill 65, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, appropriating a portion of funds received under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, authorizing contracts to expend the funds to extend to the extent received, containing a severability clause and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 66, sponsored by Alderman Gunther, Alderwoman Davis, and Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, appropriating $10,600,000 in funds received under the American Rescue Act of 2021 for the purposes of funding programs administered by the Regional Arts Commission, as hereinafter detailed, authorizing the Executive Director of the Community Development Administration to enter into a subrecipient agreement with the Regional Arts Commission for such purposes and containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. That's the extent of first reading of board bills.
Reference to committee?
To the Transportation Committee, Board Bill 57, to Public Employee, Board Bill 58 and 59 and 63, to the Streets Committee, Board Bill 60 and 62, to Health and Human Services Committee, Board Bill 61 and 65, and to the HUD's Committee, Board Bill 64.
All right, thank you. 66, we will, I'll meet with and discuss, and we'll assign that at a later date, if that's okay.
So noted.
All right, thank you. Second reading, report of standing committees.
The following board bill was reported out of the Streets Committee with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 3, sponsored by Alderwoman Ingracia, Alderman Collins Muhammad, Alderwoman Tyus, Alderman Bacaro, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderwoman Schweitzer, and Alderwoman Peel. An ordinance authorizing the honorary street name Ali Stewart Way pursuant to ordinance 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Park Avenue and Cardinal Avenue and run east on Park Avenue to the intersection of Park Avenue and Montrose Avenue. The following board bill was reported out of Health and Human Services with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 11, sponsored by Alderwoman Ingracia. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment authorizing the Department of Health to accept a local public health disparity initiative grant award up to $1,326,325 from the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services for the grant purposes of providing funding assistance with local efforts of reducing COVID-19 related health disparities, authorizing the expenditure of LPH Disparities Initiative grant funds for grant purposes, and to fulfill the obligations of said grant and contain an emergency clause. That is the extent of second reading report of standing committees.
All right, we will dispense with line items 14 and 15. Board bills for perfection.
Board Bill 46 as amended, sponsored by Alderwoman Tyus, an ordinance recommended by the Parking Commission making appropriation for payment of the operating expenses, capital expenses, including lease purchase agreement, and debt service expenses of the Parking Division of the Treasurer's Office for fiscal year July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, in the sum of $18,297,875, including $1,616,615 for capital improvement and containing an emergency clause.
All right, Alderman from the first, you are recognized on perfection of Board Bill 46 as amended.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move to perfect Board Bill 46 as amended.
Entertain a second.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by the Alderman from the first, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th. Alderman, please proceed.
Mr. President, members of the board, Board Bill 46 as amended is a capital expenses, the budget for the Parking Commission. They are struggling. A few years ago, we took quite a bit of chunk of money from them. They need that money now, but they are struggling along. And so this budget is very conservative, and they're hoping to pick up and make more money and make up some of the big budget dent that we did a few years ago. It's nothing that's exorbitant. It's very conservative, and I believe it's a good budget. And I ask for your support in perfecting Board Bill 46 as amended.
All right, thank you. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing no hands, it's been moved and seconded. Alderman, you're welcome. I'm sorry, you're welcome to close. Recognize the close.
I just renew my motion, my request, and move that Board Bill 46 as amended be perfected.
Thank you very much. Been moved and seconded. We perfect Board Bill 46 as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman, you have your hand up?
Yes.
Are you protesting your own vote?
No. I wanted to, at appropriate time, I want to suspend the rules and move Board Bill 46 as amended down to the third reading consent calendar. So that this is their budget and it needs to go into effect on the 1st. So I'm trying to get it moved.
We could do that at this point, I believe.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and I didn't catch who seconded it.
24.
24. All right, thank you. Sharita, please call the roll. It's been moved and seconded. We suspend the rules. So Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman,
Aye.
Alderman Page,
Aye, but camera not available.
Alderwoman Negracia,
Aye.
Alderman Coder,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice, Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Stevens,
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel,
Aye.
Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Davis, Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Narayan,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Gross,
Aye.
President Ballmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice, Alderwoman Davis, Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
23 aye votes.
All right, by your vote, you sustain the motion of the Alderman from the first to suspend the rules. Sharita, please, Alderman from the first, you have your hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't lower it.
Okay, all
Sorry.
right. And we're moving this to third reading
Consent calendar.
consent. That's correct. So Sharita, please make note of that. Put this at the
Okay.
end of the third reading consent. All right. And line item 17, third reading consent calendar.
Board Bill 46 as amended.
All right. Line item 18, third reading report engrossment, final passage. We have none?
We do, we have to take a roll call
Oh,
on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So say vote on that, I thought.
I did. I apologize. So we are at third reading consent calendar. Board Bill 46 as amended. Sharita, please call the roll.
We need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry again. Apologize.
You're fine.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Alderman from the first, you have your hand up. Is it still up or?
Yes, I was gonna say, usually, it used to be the Alderman from the 19th that did that. Whoever took her place, I think, is the one that does the motion for the consent calendar now. So we moved so many people around.
Yeah, we said, since there was nothing on there today, we just popped that on. It's out of sequence. I apologize.
Who moved into her place? Is that the Alderman?
That'd be Alderman from the 25th.
Okay, he should be
Alderman
doing
from the 25th, you're recognized on the third reading consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we approve the third reading consent calendar.
I'll second that.
Then moved by the Alderman 25th, second by the Alderman for the 24th. Sharita, please call the roll.
Previous roll?
There's been a request for previous roll.
Objection.
We have an objection from the Alderwoman from the 19th. So Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderman Bosley.
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans.
Aye.
Alderman Page.
Aye. Camera not available.
Alderwoman Ingracia.
Aye.
Alderman Coder.
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice. Alderman Gunther.
Aye.
Alderman Stevens.
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Green.
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel.
Aye.
Alderman Todd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Sorry. Aye.
Alderman Narayan.
Aye.
Alderman Cone.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Gross.
Aye.
President Balmer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice. 24 aye votes.
By your vote, we have adopted the third reading consent calendar. Okay, third reading and report of engrossment, final passage.
Board Bill 46 as amended.
All right, and I believe this is where I have to dig it out and sign it, correct? I wasn't ready for that. All of the business being suspended, the president will in open session affix his signature hereto to the end that these may become law. All right, that was easier than last week. Courtesy resolutions calendar.
We have none.
Okay, first reading of resolutions.
We have none.
All right, second reading of resolutions.
Resolution 19 sponsored by Alderman Boyd and Alderman Coder, Zealot Creek Properties LLC in the city of St. Louis Enhanced Enterprise Zone.
All right, Alderman from the 7th, you're recognized on the adoption of resolution number 19.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move to second read and adopt resolution 19.
Entertain a second.
Second.
Okay, I got a second, I believe, from the Alderman from the 14th. Before we proceed, Alderman from the 1st, you have your hand up.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board. I'm going to say something that's probably a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to say it anyway. I am uncomfortable with us continuing to keep alder people's names on board bills that are no longer on our board, and especially in this particular case. And I had hoped that we would have taken that name off before, and I would ask that the alderman would strike the name Boyd off of there and just I can vote for this, but it makes me very uncomfortable. And I think it makes us appear to be tone deaf that we keep leaving these people's name and they have resigned in wake of how they resigned.
All right. I believe I spoke with the clerk when we started this journey we're on about that. And it was something about the history of that, how it started. I don't know if there's a legal procedure for removing the names, but that is something I don't know if we can do it at this point, but we'll.
I can
we'll
speak
try
to
and-
that, Mr. President. If the person was on the board, at any time, you could take your name off of a board bill, okay? You can say, I'm not sponsored. He's
Sure.
not here. He is not an alder person. So I'm not trying,
No, I completely understand what you're saying, ma'am. I can recognize if Clerk Kennedy, are you with us? To maybe give us some clarity on this? I'll recognize the clerk.
Yes, Mr. President.
In regard to removing a sponsor's name who's no longer on the board, is there a procedure for this? Since he is not here to actually physically ask to have his name removed.
There is no procedure that I am aware of other than this board doing a vote if they wish to remove a name off of it.
Okay, if that is
the issue that I raised was that it was in fact initially introduced by that individual, by that particular person. Regardless of the circumstances by which they left, there is still that history that if you do remove it, at this point, there's no way to show that on the history of board bills, but we can figure something out.
Okay, so at this point, we could do this by a motion and second to remove the name of the former alderman from the 22nd. I have a hand up from the alderman from the 19th. Let's go with you. Have you not spoken yet on this? Please
What
proceed.
I'd like to do is to also add to that, as you look at the official record and how this name ends and comes off, you might want to also get clarity from the registrar's office as well as the city council.
Okay, you feel we need to do that before we proceed because this is up for.
Is this a dire need that this is passed today?
Yes.
Alderman from the 7th, you're recognized. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to chime in. I'd be more than happy to make a motion to remove the alderman from the 22nd, the former alderman from the 22nd's name from this. I know this is something that alderman from the 1st and I discussed. So if the president will so indulge me, I'd make that motion.
You know, as a co-sponsor, I believe we can recognize you to make that motion.
Okay.
I second it.
It's been moved by the alderman from the 7th, second by the alderman from the 1st, that we remove the name of the former alderman from the 22nd from resolution number 19. Sharita, please call the roll. All in favor can say aye. Also, I guess there's been no request for roll call.
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Resolution number 19. Sharita, please make note of that change. So noted. All right. After that, we do have if I go back to Alderman from the 7th, you made your motion, Alderman from the.
Thank you. Maybe I'll provide it. I made my motion. I know there's a question. I'll just give a little context on what this is. This is a project for those that aren't familiar. This has now been to the HUD's committee twice with some very thorough questioning by the committee and a very thorough presentation by both Mr. Neil Richardson from SLDC and representatives of the company that's taking over the space. For perspective, this is far from the current 7th Ward. This is squarely in the existing 22nd Ward. It's the old ABB site, which I'm sure most of us are familiar with. It's very visible from Highway 70 as you're heading, eastbound towards the city, towards downtown. Which ABB's plant closed they shuttered their plant a few years ago. It's a very big plant. And Terramac, a company who makes big earth movers, trawlers, is taking over the space to manufacture these right here in town. It's going to create 75 new jobs in the plant with I believe, an average salary of over $54,000. This was a competitive bid process. We were competing against towns in both Indiana and Iowa for this business. The Development Corp negotiated this deal and then brought it to the alderman from the 22nd. It is a 10-year, 95% abatement. It I think the value of the incentive is approximately $800,000 on about I want to say it's close to a $3+ million, almost a $4 million, sorry, a $3 million capital investment. Why this spot was so attractive to Terramac, the company, was the plant still in really good shape and has great fixtures and worked well for their needs. So we were actually we had a much smaller incentive that we offered Terramac versus the competing towns we were competing with in Indiana and Iowa. But they found this to be very attractive due to the location of the building near the highway and rail lines, and also the condition of the building. I'm happy to answer any questions that other people have. So you all know, I just got up to the speed on this project in the last couple of weeks. I've had, prior to this, nothing to do with it other than, I spoke to Director Richardson after the resignation of several former aldermen. He advised me that this is a major priority for the Development Corp and for this administration. And I just said I would lend my support to help get it over the finish line however we could.
All right. Thank you, sir. Alderman from the first, you have your hand up.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, I am supportive of this project. Actually, it's next door to my ward. I've represented that ward for about 30 years. And actually, the Snooks city project is on the other part of the land that used to be a car plant. And they've used, well, that wasn't the car plant, but right down the street. But this is very visible. It's close to the airport. It is going to be a great project. I just did want to reply to about needing to have a legal opinion. If somebody took their name off of a board bill or a resolution, then it would be the same thing. You wouldn't have the history, but people are able to do that. So I think we're perfectly fine. But I think this project itself is a great project. And it will be in the new, I guess, I don't know, what is the new ward that it's going to be in? Alderwoman Boyd may know that, but it'll be in the new ward.
It'll be the 13th ward.
The 13th
all right.
ward.
Thank you.
But it'll be a great project. We need jobs up and down that corridor. So it was nothing that had anything to do with the project itself. I just think that we need to start checking ourselves about continuing with people that no longer serve on this board. And that was my only problem with that.
Thank you very much. Alderman from the 14th, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I'm not on the HUD's committee, but I did tune in because I was curious about this project, and I think it's a wonderful project that will help move that area forward. Anytime we have large vacant expanses of unused property, it's a detriment to the city. And knowing that SLDC is behind this and they've endorsed it, I'm very comfortable, supporting this, and I think it's a wonderful project for that end of town and for the city as a whole. So I appreciate the alderman from the 7th moving this forward and the support of the president. And I encourage everyone, regardless of whose name is on it, to make sure that this gets past the finish line and we get this business in the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. I see no other hands up. No further discussion. Alderman from the 7th, you're recognized to close.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I renew my motion.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 19. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. Miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Announcements.
Tuesday, June 28, 2022, Health and Human Services will have a meeting at 1 p.m. via webinar. Wednesday, June 29, 2022, Streets will have a meeting at 10 a.m. Public Safety will have a meeting at 2 p.m. and also at 6 p.m., all via webinar. And Thursday, June 30th, 2022, full board meeting is at 10 a.m. and intergovernmental affairs meeting is at 4 p.m., both via webinar. That's the extent of the announcements.
All right. Any further announcements? Alderman from the first, you're first in line. Go ahead.
Mr. President, members of the board, I have gotten responses from all over the city of St. Louis regarding our trash problem. If any of you all have any, I am going with the press into several different wards to to record the trash problem. We are working on it. I am reaching out to the mayor's office this weekend with some suggestions I have. But if any of you all have suggestions, I would welcome them. Email me this weekend. Also, if you have alleys that you would like to be noted in this, we're going to do a kind of a little drive-through to show what's going on with the city. Let me know, and we will go in those alleys. We are working on this. Trash is a very, very, very important thing that we have to be able to do. And I've actually written a letter to the mayor that I'm finishing up that kind of outlines some of the things we want to do. But I do want to start out by reminding people, a lot of people are upset about recycling. In 2017, or even when we started recycling, the gas was $1.89, $2. Gas is now $5 and something. We had trash truck drivers. We were trying to get more equipment. That is a problem. Right now, one of the ugly facts we're going to have to face, and the mayor may disagree with me, is that we cannot do alley recycling right now. And I'm a recycler. I actually believe in it. Even though I knew we weren't doing it under the previous administration, I actually take the paper off the jar. I'll rinse them out. I used to pay for it before we started city recycling. We had a private company. I still got my little blue bin. I'm going to suggest to the mayor that we, after listening to Randy Brightenfield, who's been running the refuse department for a while, that we actually have recycling placed at the parks or fire stations or something like that. Because if we take away from the people driving the trash trucks, we don't get the trash picked up. And in all the 36 years I've lived in my house, we had trash picked up twice. It was either Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday. And we need that for a variety of reasons. So we are working on this. And I just wanted people to know it's very important to me as the chair of streets. And I will be reaching out to the mayor's office, asking them to please let us have a powwow with the director of operations, personnel, whoever else needs to be there, that we can figure out a way to get this trash picked up, and that we don't go to rotations where the dumpsters are picked up once a week. That does not work for a variety of reasons. And it just makes for us to have alleys full of trash. And that is not what I want in any part of the city. And I don't believe anybody who's on this board wants it, or the mayor or anybody else. We have to put our heads together and work together. It's not to be an attack on anybody else. We just want to document with the press. Some of the press and I are going through to show what happens when you rotate and you don't pick the dumpsters up twice. The carts, you can pick that up once a week, but the dumpsters need to be picked up twice. And that's a policy and procedure that's been in effect for at least 35, 36 years.
All right. Thank you very much, Alderman. Alderwoman from the 15th, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I think a lot of us don't have the words to express how we're feeling today after the Dobbs decision. It strikes, this is going to have far-reaching implications on our society, beyond just the ability of people who wish to become pregnant. This has the potential to have implications on access to contraception, on same-sex marriage, on physical intimacy, on interracial marriage. And I think we are, based upon Justice Thomas's writings, I think we are just starting to understand the full-reaching implications of today's decision. This afternoon, this evening, people will be gathering at Planned Parenthood at 6 or 6:30. We're still trying to figure out exactly what time, in solidarity with each other and comfort to each other, and also recognition that this fight does not stop. Abortion may be outlawed in the state of Missouri, but that does not mean that we stop providing for folks in our community that need abortion care. So I hope that you will join us this evening at Planned Parenthood, spread the word, because the fight is not over. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 19th, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I'd like to ditto everything that the Alderwoman said from the first ward. And for those who believe that there is a conspiracy against North St. Louis and South St. Louis trash pickup, believe me, I've got the pictures, the proof, and South St. Louis is not receiving services as well. So it is a citywide problem. It is a problem that can actually cripple a city for everything else that they're trying to do. It's no different than if we remember the problem in Chicago when they couldn't get the snow off the street so that people could be mobile. This is the same thing. Trash creates so many other environmental problems aside from the aesthetic of looking at it and smelling it. So I'm hoping that we do find a way. Everywhere I go, I have small contractors who walk up to me and say, I got trucks, I got people, we'll go pick up trash. Just call us, hire us, we'll do it. So we've got too many small business owners that could get this done, give them a route, and let them go pick this trash up. But for me, my main thing that I wanted to say, I don't have an event that I want to announce today, but I want to announce how my soul feels today. So in the last 48 hours, this country from top to bottom, so from the Supreme Court to this Board of Aldermen and its members, people are not being civil. People are not caring about other people. People are allowing their relationship with the devil and their personal needs and personal agendas to guide them. And all that fall or all that are harmed in the way, you're just a casualty. And so for me, I would like to invite the strong, strong hearts and prayers for those around this country, and most especially in this city and region. And ask my prayer warriors, get busy, because we need it. We are just shamefully destroying a good environment to live in, a good environment to work in. And it's all based on the need to have power, greed, racism, disrespect, and I could go on for about another 2 minutes with titles. But God have mercy on us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. And Alderman 26, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I just want to speak to quickly, because I received text during the conversation from Alderwoman Tyus and Alderwoman Davis about the need for trash pickup, and people are watching, and some of our own trash workers said they are willing to work 7 days a week, if need be, to get this done and to get a handle on this. So thank you, Alderwoman Tyus, for your work on this. Definitely count me in on anything I can do to support, first and foremost, support our workers in this and getting this done. And so, of course, you all know me. I have a couple of announcements in the 26th ward on June 26th, that's Sunday from 12 to 2. It's going to be Food Truck Sunday at the corner of Temple and Page with Christ Southern Mission Baptist Church, a staple here in the 26th ward. And we're excited to support them. It's from 12 to 2. So after church or whatever, you can come over, or in between going to the Pride events that I'm looking forward to this weekend, you can come over and support them. And then yesterday, as well as today, we talked a lot about morale and working together in our different departments here in the city. So here's an event specifically that can help build the morale between our communities and our police departments, our public safety departments. This is Brown versus Blue, balling in the Lou. St. Louis County Police versus St. Louis City Police. Now, here's the thing. I got friends on both sides, so I don't know which side. I'm probably going to go from side to side cheering, but it's this Saturday, the 25th of June at 12 noon, St. Louis University High School, 4970 Oakland Avenue. So I know, again, I know that some people manipulates the division between the community and our police officers. That's not where I stand. So events like this are always good outside of the rhetoric to build up the community trust and morale that was used so much yesterday that, again, we cannot legislate here in the community. So get out and support that event. Have a good weekend. I hope to see you all at the Pride events as well.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman. It's either your air conditioner works very, very well, or just a lovely shade of purple on your lips, so that you know it's that cold in your office.
Thank you. You know it's purple.
All right, Alderwoman from the 14th, you're next.
Yes, I would just like to reiterate and echo what the Alderwoman from the 19th and the 1st said. Trash is not just a problem on the north side. It's a citywide problem. I drove my ward last night, and my text is lit up, my emails are lit up. People are not happy with what's going on, and they're paying for their trash, and they're not getting the service. The service is not being delivered. And I would like to say, Alderwoman first, you need pictures? Let me know. I have plenty. And yeah, I'm in. So please let me know what I can do to help. And let's be prayerful and mindful of each other this weekend. And everybody have a great weekend and stay safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 23rd, you're next.
Yeah, just echoing what the Alderwoman from the 1st said. And I got more trash stored in my garage. So whenever they do happen to empty it, it'll be filled that same day. It's ridiculous. And the carbon footprint for all the people that feel, well, gee, recycling just has to be number one on the list, and we don't rethink how we're doing it. The carbon footprint that we're putting out with the trash trucks on an orange day like we had the other day far outweighs. Not to mention, I walked my alley, and what's happening is people are throwing their trash out. They're putting it in the recycle dumpster and in the grass dumpster. They're putting it in whichever one happens to be empty at the minute. So any recycling picked up in the alley right now is going to be all contaminated anyway. And I don't blame people because they're frustrated. But we need to rethink this. And again, the cost of the fuel, the cost to the environment of the footprint to the ozone that's causing a lot of this problem. We're talking about, electric cars and all these things that we're going to drive around in trash trucks, do an extra run. And then we're going to go into the 4th of July weekend, and the trash in my neighborhood, behind my house even, is standing wide open. There was a story on Channel 2 about it, and we need to rethink what we're doing. And I know I had talked to the Alderwoman of the 1st, and I am 100% in support of saying, look, you know what? We need to rethink. I'm not saying eliminate, but we need to rethink, maybe not do we really need to think about not redoing the alley recycling and do it in centers, which will save on the environment as far as the carbon footprint that we're putting out driving around in these trash trucks. So anyway, yes.
Okay.
And
Thank
I
you for your
hope it
announcement,
gets
sir.
done.
All right.
Thanks for cutting me off when you didn't cut anybody else off.
Well, I would like.
Thank you for cutting me off when you didn't cut anybody else.
Talking trash. I'm looking for announcements. We are in the announcement section of the thing. I understand.
Okay,
but
well,
we all understand the trash.
Then I will say you didn't cut anybody else off.
Specific announcements, please.
You didn't cut anyone else.
I was not. I thought you were finished. I apologize, sir. All right. At this point, any announcements, Alderwoman from the 6th?
I'm okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Alderman from the 25th, any announcements?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. With everything that's going on, I think it's, just unbelievably tragic where our society is headed at the moment. And I can't think of a moment in time where I've just felt so overwhelmed by everything that's happening in our society with the pandemic, with the Supreme Court rulings, with everything else. It's hard to celebrate some of the wins that we've had over the years as a member of the LGBTQIA community. Today's decisions certainly have an impact on the community of which I'm a part as well. And a lot of people may not understand that, but as a young gay person, I remember the world before Lawrence v. Texas. I remember, before gay marriage was legal. The very existence or act of a gay male relationship was illegal in many places, including the state of Missouri. So it's definitely an opportunity for us to mourn some of the losses of our rights that we're seeing erode right before our eyes, but also the time to collectively come together, plan, and fight for our rights. I know some of my colleagues are already planning to attend the vigil at Planned Parenthood this evening. Pride Festival is also this weekend. And while Pride is a celebratory event, it started from a riot. And it started from people being oppressed and wanting to be able to be themselves and be recognized by our governments, and in fact Stonewall by local governments, and not be arrested for simply being who you are or being with who you love. So I hope everyone can take an opportunity to participate at some level in either the actions that are taking place tonight at Planned Parenthood or over the weekend with the Pride Festival. We've got many things that are happening with St. Louis Pride over the weekend. Probably the most notable is the parade that happens on Sunday at noon downtown. I know there's also Pride Night in the Grove that's happening tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So I hope that, not just the folks that are watching, but, our colleagues would be able to join at some point in time in one of these, calls to action. On a more local level, my neighborhood is having a movie night tomorrow night as well. The Dutchtown movie night, they're playing Back to the Future, which is very ironic given the rulings that have been handed down. Dutchtown movie night at the Neighborhood Innovation Center at 7 p.m. That's tomorrow, Saturday night. Again, Pride Night in the Grove is also tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And then the parade for the Pride Festival is Sunday downtown.
All right, thank you, sir. Alderman from the 19th, I see you're the only hand up. You're being recognized for the second time.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I wanted to announce an event that took place yesterday with the African American Contractors Association. They gave away bicycles and helmets and had a fun festival time in partnership with White Castle and the police department, with the Polar ice cream truck and lots of fun and games. And one of the things that came out of that was there were no incidents, no one got out of order, and the children truly enjoyed it. They also had members from the Painters Union and the Plumbers Union who were interested in recruiting people for jobs. We had a lot of kids. By the end of it, they had claimed a police officer and was telling their parents they wanted to be a police officer. It was great. Let's keep it up. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. I see no further hands up. Okay. Thank you for the announcements. Alderman 25th, you are recognized on the motion to excuse. Alderman 25th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize for my delays today. My phone's battery has been very low, so it's been on the charger, and I have to kind of move around in order to accommodate the short cord here that I'm on. So I believe there's only one colleague who is not amongst us today. So I would move that we excuse the Alderwoman from the 8th for necessary absence.
All right, entertain a second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 25th, second by the Alderwoman from the 14th, that we excuse the Alder. Then from the, which ward was it?
The 8th ward.
8th ward. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Yeah, ayes have it. All right, please mark down the Alderman from the 4th, seconded it also. Thank you. Okay, Alderman from the 25th, you are recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we adjourn until Thursday, June 30th at 10 a.m. via webinar.
Entertain a second.
Second.
Second by, I'll move by the Alderman from the 25th, second by the Alderwoman from the 1st, that we adjourn to Thursday, June 30th, 10 a.m. via webinar. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it as well as the ears. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Meeting adjourned.